Okay, when we taped this, this was a day of torrential rain, and it has just slacked up enough for me to get out here to the studio. But as you can see, it's kind of marshy out there. So we're going to talk about Deep Space Nine after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd. This episode revolves around Vedek Bareil, who is established already as kind of a, shall we say, close relationship with Major Kira. And in this encounter with the orb from the prophets, he is in kind of a trance, and he sees himself on board Deep Space Nine, and there's someone hanging from the promenade with Kira in the background playing handball. He doesn't know how to interpret this, but there's something that is very wrong. And then before long, we have a scene where Bareil and Kira are intimately together. And she's advising him that he really needs to get down to Bajor because there is going to be not an election, but a selection of the new Kai to replace Opaka, who you recall a few episodes back elected to stay on this planet because she'd die as soon as she left it. With that, we see once again Vedek win, who in a previous episode also shows that she has ambitions on being the next Kai and has put all kinds of things together to try to make that. Now, they haven't always been successful, but this one might just be because she believes now that through a collaborator with the Cardassians, that she might be able to pin Bareil as responsible for the deaths of 48 Bajorans in a mining camp. This is something that, of course, Kira rejects, and with the help of Odo and with Quark, they try to, and O'Brien for that matter, they try to break into the communications and computers of the Vedek Council of the Provisional Government to try to find anything that might protect Bareil from the accusations, or at least the implied accusations of Wynn. Wynn strikes me very much like the character in Harry Potter who has a big smile on her face all the time but is absolutely evil. And that is kind of where Wynn is. She also tries to work some kind of deal with Cisco to get his endorsement and other things that are going on. And what we find out we don't want to hear. Frankly, that some of the things that happened really don't look all that good for Bareil, and Kira is caught between her desire for justice and her belief in Bareil. And one of them seems to have to take a back seat to the other, and that's a disturbing way of having to live your life, and that's where she is right now. And I think that's where we have a good episode, is where you have someone in conflict. It does not have to be life-threatening. It does not have to be anything other than where your loyalties lie. And because of that, I think this is a very well-written episode for that. Everything there, all the characters are aimed in this episode at helping Kira deal with the decision that she has to make. And it makes a compelling episode, and at the twist at the end is also a interesting way that it turns out. Now, anybody that's seen the series before knows that Wynn won the election, and she is the Kai. Obviously, if our favored character who is friendly with the Federation, who was not a troublemaker, got this position, there wouldn't be a whole lot of stories around it. And that's something that is important in order to keep a series going, is that you have to have a regular adversary, and Wynn plays that very well. So that's what we have. Once again, I point out the subtlety of Avery Book's acting, where you can tell he absolutely despises Wynn, but he has a smile on his face and he's perfectly cordial. And but you can tell just behind the facial expression what he thinks, that he would rather eat rocks than really be on her side. We see some good performances also by Quark, who for the first time being approached by Kira and Odo at the same time, and he's not in trouble for something, how he reacts to that, and realizes that he's even in bigger trouble when they're not after him. And the reveal of Rule of Acquisition 285, no good deed goes unpunished. Indeed, it does not. And it has something to be said throughout the episode, honestly. So I'd like to know what you think about this. This is episode 24 of the second season of Deep Space Nine. We think that it's another good one. This is a building episode where we know more about the politics of Bajor and how that's going to be affecting our heroes on Deep Space Nine. I'd like to know what you think about it. Please put it in the comments below. And if you would put a like on it, that would at least absolve me of my wet shoes getting out here. So thank you for joining us, and tomorrow we will have the last episode of the original series reviewed, Turnabout Intruder. We hope you'll be here for that. Until then, don't go far.